15 degrees, you can see your breath. Out here in the lake effect, breaking tables like it's poetry. Where else would you rather be? Pinto, Ron, Elvis in the lay poncho. The members that you need to know. 'Cause once you out here now, your family. Where else would you rather be? Where else would you rather be?
Welcome into the Nickel City Crew. I am your host, Rob Crippen. Please like us on Facebook and follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Nickel City Crew. This episode, along with all of our episodes, are presented by Crippen Legacy Entertainment here on Spreaker and StreamYard. We're so glad that you're joining us for some of your Buffalo Bills and NFL content again today. And as always, these are my Bills thoughts said out loud.
It's a vibe so ridiculous. Since 12 plus 83 was 6. The shout rocking like a symphony. Where else would you rather be?
All right, let's get straight to it. Really excited for tonight's episode. It's funny because, the draft is funny and, it could go a certain way that you don't think it's going to go. And that's the reason that I named the episode the way that I did, because I, for one, was taken aback by some of the picks to start the draft. And then I take time to kind of digest, and shout out to my Twitter buddies out there in the different Twitter spaces that helped me out with getting things together. And I finally came back to, okay, I came back to a reasonable level. Joining me tonight to help us dissect it, as always, my co-host, Riding Shotgun, Adam Dump Truck Rupsick. Check him out on Instagram and Twitter at Adam Rupsick, RUPCZYK. Holla at the crew, DT. What's good? What's good, man? You see the Sabres hat? You see we
out here. We got the Go Ahead locker back here. We got the Go Ahead locker back here in the batch pad. We ready. What's up, Rob? What's up, Nickel City? We're back another Friday night, May 1st. We're into May. The weather's still shit up here in Buffalo, Rob. Weather's still shit up here in Buffalo.
I saw something said it was like the 4th wettest April of all time. I was like, God damn, y'all all need to come on down to Charlotte, man. The weather's beautiful down here. But yeah, man, I'm excited. DT, the draft was interesting, and it was funny because I kind of crashed out. I'll raise my hand, Nickel City Crew, Bills Mafia. I kind of crashed out after the first couple picks, and what helped me was going into those Twitter spaces, and shout out to my boy Sherm Lee on Twitter and stuff like that, and my boy Jarek, and they kind of helped me like, okay, let's bring this thing back down, take it down a couple levels, take it down a couple notches. We've got a guest for you tonight. I'm really happy that he decided to join us straight out of Wheeling, West Virginia. You can check him out on Twitter at Bills Fan for Life WV. That stands for West Virginia. Joining me, my man Tom Ames. Tom, welcome into the crew. We're happy to have you tonight, man. I know that that Nickel City Crew doesn't know you, but I know you very well now on those Twitter spaces. And DT and I are happy to have you, man. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the crew, man. Holla at the crew.
Hey, what's up, Nickel City Crew? Hey, what's up, DT? Nice meeting you for the first time. I've watched many of your guys' show. I really enjoy it.
We appreciate it.
What can I say? It was an interesting draft, gentlemen. It was.
It was an interesting draft. And like I said, DT and Tom, the reason I named the episode the way that I did was because it really, it kind of encapsulates it. It was a depth draft. And I made some jokes is that I didn't get the memo, DT. I didn't get the memo, Tom, that it was going to be a depth draft. And I think that that's kind of one of the things that led to my disappointment in the beginning of the draft with those first couple picks. So unless you've been under a rock, and I know that you have not, Bills Mafia, the Bills started out, we talked about it last week. They traded down 3 times in the first round. We talked about that last week before the Sabres game. And then round 2, they kind of got things going. Pick 35, TJ Parker, outside linebacker out of Clemson. And DT, it was interesting because when that pick happened, I had my eyes set on Caden McDonald. I thought it was fit. I thought it was a need. And I thought that the two kind of married themselves together because we need some help stopping the run. I was clearly wrong in respects to having those expectations. Tom, can you talk to us about TJ Parker if you can? Because for me, I was more confused by the fact that I thought that there was a starter sitting right there for us in respects to Caden McDonald, but clearly Brandon Beane and that crew did not see the same type of need in respects of defensive tackle because they went with TJ Parker, who's uber talented, highly recruited, highly thought of, a former 5-star recruit going out there to Clemson and had a good year a couple years ago. But I didn't match up the need and fit at the time.
This is where I go with where the Bills were needing. Like our needs were to stop the rush, or stop the rush. That was our main need. And our second need was we need to have somebody to sack a quarterback. We got to get our pass rush better. And I think with those two needs, I think us saw Caden McDonald there, the guys in the Bills Mafia, like yourself, Rob, DT, me too. I was gonna say, hey, we're gonna take Caden McDonald. We're gonna cause pressure up the middle. We're gonna get from the bottom tier of like stopping the run. I mean, I think we're like in the 30s of stopping the run.
Oh, it was bad last year. It was horrible.
Bad. We were bad, and we saw the logical pick. And what I've learned with the Bills is anytime us as fans think the most logical thing they're going to do, it doesn't happen. I thought for sure in the offseason we were going to bring in Leo Chenal as linebacker off of Kansas City because he just fit the new scheme so well. And I didn't think Bean blinked an eye at him. But Caden McDonald was right there. And as I said to you before the show, Rob, DT, I don't believe they even interviewed Caden McDonald at the combine. I don't believe they met with him. Nope. Maybe they felt he was undersized. I love Ohio State picks. I hate the school, but I love their players. So it's kind of weird.
I'm a Michigan fan. Me too.
And the TJ Parker pick may not be a liked pick, but that's not what maybe a lot of us, I'd say, a lot of us wanted there, but we did need a pass rusher. We did need a bull rusher. And as you said, it was a very death-meaning draft for a lot of teams, not just us, because there wasn't a lot of blue-chip elite athletes out on this draft. Would you guys agree?
It's true. We talked about
100%. Well, or allegedly, right? Allegedly. We talked about that last week as well. Is like I was like not getting down with it's not a first-round type of draft. Well, like how do we really know that, right? But I like
that's true.
My issue. I'll preface this with I liked the draft. I didn't like the first pick, as we're talking about right now. I didn't like that first pick in the fact of the Bills don't get the names, right? You said they don't go what we think they're going to go or we want them to go. They don't go KC Concepcion. They don't go, they don't go, Caden McDonald. And I think all year it was just, okay, we're going to the 3-4. So it's, we need a nose tackle. But like, there's so much difference. And Jim Leonhard is now like kind of a new transition of this positionless type football, and this defense is going to be all over the place and looking all different, which we'll get into our second pick, in a little bit, but I don't want to get too into that yet. We'll get into him, but I think that goes right along with it. So you got McDonald, like everybody, the name pick, and we never picked the name. But I also think this TJ Parker pick is so Boogie Basham, so Epineza. So
he's a way better
this
prospect
pick just
than that,
screams that. Like the Clemson obviously with Shaq Lawson, the Clemson thing, but like just
you're giving me PTSD,
like mid pass rusher, athletic, but like he's not really a speed rusher. He's more of a power rusher. So maybe
he's a bull He's like a Bradley Chubb. He's very much like Bradley.
So maybe
Chubb.
He is going to get in and play a little more inside now without having that nose tackle. We talked about we have the horse and Deion Walker. He's not a nose tackle, but like what does this 3-4 really look like, right? So I think it would just quickly 3-4. You put the nose guard, so everyone's boom. We're on McDonald, and that's Ohio State name, and we want him.
That's
but
what
really,
I did.
Correct.
I can admit
absolutely.
And I agree. And that would be, I wanted the name, I wanted the Vince Wilfork, right? I wanted the Sam Adams, right?
Yeah.
But I can't be like the TJ Parker pick is just blah and such Beam-like and Epineza-like. It's just like blah, but we didn't take the name. And I someday just want him to take the name maybe and try it out. But I also understand this defense might not look like we all think the 3-4 is going to look like.
Yeah, no, it's interesting because, Tom, to me, I thought that, TJ Parker is kind of a clone of Bradley Chubb and what they brought in free agency. But in addition to that, I thought that, this is a guy that was so highly touted that maybe it's a situation where they thought that the answers were in there. And that's where I gave a little shout out to my boy Sherm, was that he was like, listen, they clearly think that they have the answer within house. And whether that's Phidarian Mathis or whoever the case may be, they think that they've got their answer. And I think that that's what should give Bills Mafia just a little bit of solace, is the fact that they think that they have their answer already in-house.
When it comes to TJ Parker too, my understanding is he did very well at Clemson, but from our sources, Rob speaking to Sherm, speaking to other people that watch Clemson had a lot of inner coaching problems. I guess the
Yep.
coaching
Last year
staff and the players were just not. There was no
on the same
there
page.
wasn't a good locker room. The coaches were going at it with players and everything, and they're going at it, and they just lost that locker room. So that could affect a lot of play. That could
Absolutely.
affect TJ Parker's play. I'm in on him. You know what? Let's give the kid a shot. I like him. He's a bull rusher. I've seen his highlights. He looks great. But as you said, Rob and DT, he's going to be a rotational player for right now. Is he going to start? Hey, who knows? Like maybe we don't know what the future holds. But I'm telling you right now, as of right now, he's a depth player. I'm excited about him.
Yeah.
Let's not judge the soup before the chefs even served it. You know what I mean?
I like that.
So
Yeah, I like
agree.
that.
And we don't
see.
need him to start, right? We don't need him
No.
to start. Like looking
No,
at
we
that,
don't.
so that's fine. I mean, especially if they're as high on Javon Solomon as they've been kind of talking like they are. Like we don't, he's not starting, but you know what I mean. Like in the
No, it's
rotation,
gonna be a
of
rotation.
having
It'll be a
guys, you have
rotation.
Rousseau and Chubb obviously on the ends, and we'll see whatever happens through that middle of the line. And we got higher draft picks. We still have TJ Sanders, who we didn't see much of last year, as a high draft pick to go in and play that line. We know Deion Walker can roll. Ed Oliver should be fresh, coming off, a lot of missed games at the end of it. Like there is guys in there, right? So we didn't need him to start. And yeah, I mean, looking on just now, like one of my guys, he really respect him, really respects ball, went to Clemson, and
Okay.
I didn't say anything. And he's not a Bills fan or anything like that, but like typical Southern, like loves ball through and
SEC.
through, and texted me like 5 minutes after the pick and just said certified dog.
Yeah.
And like
Awesome.
obviously
Good.
that's his team, and he's a homer, but like there's guys on the Bills I wouldn't be texting certified dog to my other fans
Man,
of, right?
in Twitter
Like,
Spaces, DT, I heard that this dude was like a Myles Garrett, like
Yeah.
like archetype. Not
Right.
that he's going to be Myles Garrett,
Sure.
but that's what like,
didn't
they
have
were
the
thinking of.
production, but like is kind of walks around the room, is the natural leader. Like Dabo was all over that, like on those interviews. So like love that the character. I mean, even McDermott's gone. That doesn't mean we're just bringing in like non anti-character guys. But it sounds like this dude is a leader and strong. It wasn't the name pick, and that's why it lost some luster for me.
And another thing is, guys, we could have taken him at 26, and no one would have batted an eye saying TJ Parker went at 26. But we moved back 3 times, and we got him in the second round. So now Bean doesn't have to pay him first round money. So
Yeah,
the
that's
Caps
true.
are always playing into this.
Yeah, that's true. That's absolutely true. Now, with the second pick, I think that this is one that definitely raised even more eyebrows. And for me, it took me a little bit of time. Again, I already admitted first 2 picks took me some time to kind of digest. Now it's interesting. It's pick 62, Davison Igbinosun. He said call him IGB, and I checked out some of the stuff. He's big into fashion and stuff like that. This boy is a press man corner. He is a dog in your face. He is not Mad Max. He is not Benford when it comes to the fact of a zone defensive type of cornerback. This dude is all up in you, right at the line, ready to go toe to toe. It was interesting because DT, it took me some time to digest it, but the more that I did digest it, and I was on those Twitter Spaces and listening to my guys talk about it, it was funny because they brought up something that I thought of, and then I was, that I didn't give much credence to. That Denver game was a debacle. And when I say that, I mean that the people that we were putting out there was kind of reminiscent to when you and I were sitting in the stands at the Ralph, and we were watching, fucking Balen Spector and AJ Klein, out there on the field against KC. And we're like, what like all these guys coming off the couch. What is going on? We had Dean Marlowe in the back, defensive backfield. We had, Cam Lewis playing.
Darnell Savage.
Yeah, we had Cam Lewis playing like real. Yeah, Darnell Savage. Yeah, Savage was like they were playing big time minutes in a big high leverage postseason game. DT, I think that the more I thought about it, Brandon Beane did not want to get caught with his pants down again. He said that this was the number one need that he saw for his team coming into the draft. Who am I to tell Brandon Beane that he's wrong in that respect? They want to make sure that if injuries crop up again, that they've got different options. They've got better options. I really have a tough time fighting with it. Again, after the initial shock wore off, because I didn't think the quarterback was a need, it made sense, DT. It does make sense because if Leonard is going to run a more aggressive type of defense, a more man-to-man defense, less zone, like Sean McDermott was bend, don't break. And it worked for its time, and whatever the case may be. But when it came to those crucial postseason situations, DT, we were always the ones looking stupid in the end. I can't say bring change, and then when change comes, say, well, why are you changing? Like I can't speak out of both sides of my mouth.
You can never have enough corners is the saying, Rob. And
That's what they say.
I mean, at last year, what we had to do, and really last year with Trey White was such a roller coaster, right? In the beginning of the year, it was like, oh, he stinks. We literally can't have him on the field. And then it was like, okay, he's kind of playing good at the end of the year. Okay, maybe he's not. Okay, maybe he is. It's like, do we want to ride that roller coaster, on that third corner slot, or get somebody in there a little more established and that we're coming in as a second round pick that we don't have to pay for a long time? And good defenses, why are they good defenses? Because of matchups. Now you got the two, you got the small speed guy in Harrison, you got the possession corner in Benford. Now you got the big bruiser coming in to get up on those bigger receivers if you need to. He's got the speed too. The Ohio State guy, the name, as we talked about, maybe we missed it, McDonald, but we got first team All Big Ten. First team All Big Ten. He's going up against Jeremiah Smith, Carnell Tate every day in practice. Carnell Tate goes 4. Jeremiah Smith's going 1 probably next year, unless Arch Manning, he's going up against 2 top 5 picks every day against the top dogs in the Big Ten now. And it doesn't look like he's shy about it. He's got some swag about him. He's going to get in your face. He likes hitting you, and he's big enough to hit. So I like it. And that name, that swagger, you can never have enough. And I think the matchup piece, now we got the big guy. Like, that's why I wanted a big receiver. We'll get into that later, but I wanted a big receiver because we got kind of the small, gadget guys. Okay, give me the big Mike Evans type. And, we didn't get him. But now you got that on the defensive side of the ball. And I think that matches up. It's a lot less likely to get burned with a big dude when you got that dog behind you too. So I like the pick, deep pick, and big guy with a big name.
Tom, I liked IGB. When I watched his tape, I was like, oh my God, this dude is a dog. Like, he is a dog on the bone. I like it. If, again, like I told DT, Tom, if I'm asking for change and then I get change, I can't say, why the hell are you changing? This site seems like Jim Leonard's going to run a more aggressive defense, he's going to blitz more. He's going to take some more chances. We might give up some bigger plays every now and then, but they're going to be opportunistic. They're going to try to take advantage. It seems like that's the way we're leaning.
I don't want to say that Bean's hand was forced with this pick, but they said when it got down to that pick, the drop off in talent at defensive back behind Igbenogson was huge.
Okay.
So, and Bean had to make a decision there. I'm okay with it because you guys both said the word, we need to be more, Leonard's going to be aggressive. This bend don't break stuff. It's just not working, man.
Yeah, man.
We have to be more aggressive.
It's
we
tired.
have to go after the quarterback. We like DTC, we need somebody that's going to hands on with a big wide receiver like AJ Brown and let him know that he's come to play. And
Twice a year now.
Yeah, that's true.
IGB
After
is
June
that
1st.
guy.
Yeah.
I'm speaking to all Ohio State fans. They said the guy is physical. He likes to play hard against his wide receivers. Yes, he does draw flags, but like you said, DT, Big Ten, first team. I mean, what else do you want? I mean,
with the best of the best, right there.
Yeah.
He's the best of the best. And I mean,
I
but
didn't like
the
to pick
flag
it
thing,
first,
he went
but
from
I like it
14
now.
flags to 3. He had 3 flags
I'm the
last
same
year.
way, Tom.
Three flags. He had 3 flags last year
Yeah, and then I guess he had some handsy problems the year before, and that's
but
kind
then
of
to
what
go
Bean
down to
talked
3.
Bean said that he said that he appreciated that he worked on
But
his
then
craft
people
and got
gave the
that down.
Kyrie Elam shit. He's wearing boxing gloves in practice, and everyone's like they're like Thad Brown's tweeting that like it's like pumping up the mob. And they're like, dude, we don't want to hear that our worst corner, probably the worst corner in history that we've ever had on our team. He's doing the same stuff as that guy. But I'm not looking too far into that.
I like what DT said too. Like a lot of defensive coaches said, you can't have enough defensive backs.
Yeah.
You just can't. It's a position of need.
And we saw
literally killed us.
Out.
It's
We
probably
saw it
taking
bear
us
out in Denver.
taking Super Bowl rings off our fingers. Seriously,
Guaranteed.
Yeah.
Guaranteed.
Last year for sure. I don't know about the past, because you can't.
But the game,
injuries,
the game, Rob, we went to that
was a bad one.
that wasn't defensive backs as much, but
I know what you mean. That's kind of my point. You can't forecast injuries, but you can prepare for them. I think that Brandon Beane didn't want to get caught with his pants down. Now, as we transition, it's funny because round 4 was interesting. We're coming up on my favorite pick, and it's funny. DT, you kind of tipped your hand, so I can't wait to have a little debate with you because I can't stand when we always agree. So it sounds like we're not going to agree on this one, and I can't wait to get to that. But first up, round 4, pick 102, Jude Bowery, offensive tackle out of Boston College. It's interesting pick, DT. Another one, again, that's why I named the episode the way that I did. Depth draft. I wasn't thinking about tackle. I was ready to riot if they took a guard in the first round or something crazy that I was hearing on the Twitter spaces and stuff like that pre-draft. DT, they say that this guy's got some depth. He's got a position flexibility where he can slide down to the guard position if need be. And listen, Alec Anderson has never done the job before. He's never been a starter. So you just want to have all hands on deck. You got Alec Anderson. You've got now you got Jude Bowery. You've got other guys as well. You brought in a couple of free agents as well that could possibly play guard if you need them to. So in Austin Corbett. So listen, I'm in the situation where it's okay. Like if this is the direction, by that point in time when they took Jude Bowery, I knew that this was a depth draft, and that's why I came up with the concept. I was like, okay, this is a depth draft. I need to adjust, my thinking. DT, they say he's nasty. They say he's ready to play. I saw his pre-draft stuff where he was talking about how excited he was after he was drafted. Listen, if it's a depth draft and you want to make sure that you're stocked up in the cupboards, again, I have a hard time because of the fact that there weren't a lot of blue chip guys this year.
Yeah, well, we can talk about not having guys on defense and getting hurt and defensive depth, yada, yada, yada. But what's the most important thing? It's keeping the merchandise upright. And if you're that's truly the most important thing. Like at the end of the day, yes, we got to build both sides of the ball. But if Josh Allen goes down, this is nothing. So you need to keep 17 upright at all times. And keeping it upright is putting a good line in front of him. And, there might have been some turbulence with Dawkins at the end of the year. He's getting a little older. This guy kind of reminds me of a Dawkins, that type of style. He's not the biggest dude, but he can move around kind of nice. So he come in, compete for a starting, guard job right away and get that competition rolling to keep 17 upright as a younger guy you don't have to pay later on. You got it that late. If first round, okay, maybe I'll be critical, even whatever. Fourth round, I'm fine with protecting the merchandise.
Tom, what'd you think, Jude Bowery? I again, if it's a depth draft, then I've got a hard time with making sure that all your holes are shored up. I heard a lot about that Houston game, and Deion goes down and Spencer goes down, and and Houston's a little bit different because their defense is so damn ferocious. But I don't have any problem with depth, man. I don't. And if this guy can play guard and provide some position flexibility, then hey, I got to be all for
it. I believe that when we lost David Edwards to free agency and Ryan Vandemark left as well, right, I didn't realize how bad of a need we were for another tackle. Okay. And until that draft pick, honestly, I didn't know. I thought our depth was okay. Obviously, right. I was wrong. I didn't know much. I didn't do much scouting on this guy. Right. I've just heard what you guys have said on the show tonight. What I've heard in talk rooms about him. I heard that he's an exceptional athlete. He can play tackle and he can play guard. I thought that after all the off-field additions that Bean had already brought in, I thought we were okay with that because us three know who's going to start. We all know who's going to start offensive line-wise. We know Alec Anderson has taken that other guard spot.
It seems like it, yeah.
Yes, and it just seems like it's his job to lose, in my opinion.
Right. And the other four are staples.
My question mark was the whole depth now. Now that they brought him, actually, now that I think about it, I feel a lot more safe with this gentleman. Okay. He from the research I did, I mean, who doesn't want another swing tackle on their team? Right. Somebody who's versatile. I'm pretty happy with the pick. I was very surprised at where it was picked, but after doing a little bit more research, I'm fine with it. Yeah,
man, I am too. Now, listen, my favorite pick. Before we get to my favorite pick, tonight's episode is presented by Buffalo Fanbase, the official Bills Mafia podcast network that DT and I simulcast on. Again, salute to the General Radford. Over there at Buffalo Fanbase. Listen, check out all their content creators. They are pumping out great stuff over there, and we really appreciate them and their partnership. Also, tonight's episode presented by I-86 Network. Shout out to Tom Wujik. The open still hits so hard, DT. I still can't take the smile off my face every time I see the open. Shout out to Tom. My boy Bobby Hansen as well over there at I-86 Network. Listen, they pump out great content as well. They've got all your hockey coverage. I know that this is hockey time. As long as the Sabres take care of business, we've got a couple more weeks of hockey. So head on over to I-86 Network as well because they've got you covered. DT, you said something and you tipped your hand, and I love when we argue because we normally don't argue. My favorite pick of the draft, fourth round, 125 overall, Skylar Bell out of UConn. a certified dog, a certified go-getter, catches everything. I love this pick. Now, when it comes to wide receiver, you know I'm on the wide receiver train, DT. You already know that about me. And Tom, you've been finding that out on those Twitter spaces. I'm always about offense. I'm always about putting up as many points as we can, surround Josh with as many weapons as we can. And I wasn't getting discouraged by it because I know that Casey Concepcion, Cleveland takes them and stuff like that. They jump us, and then Denzel Boston. Then you heard the whole rumblings about how the Jets found out that we were going to look for Omar Cooper, so they jump ahead of us to take him. Whatever. Listen, this kid goes and gets the ball. He plays bigger than he is, about 6 foot. He's like Stephon Diggs' height. But boy, DT, when you talk about production, I understand that he played at UConn. I know that it's not the highest level. Man, catching the football is still an art. It's still something that you got to go out there and do. DT, he caught everything. I know you talking about you want another Keon Coleman. I did not want another Keon Coleman. I don't know. You tell me, man, were you disappointed with this pick? This is my favorite pick of the draft. My favorite pick, man. I can't wait to see this boy work. And in addition to the fact that he can go inside and outside. So he's not just, I heard a lot of Bills Mafia saying, well, he's just a Khalil clone. He is not a Khalil clone.
No,
I haven't seen.
Not even close.
I keep hearing that Khalil can play outside. I haven't seen him play outside under multiple offensive coordinators. This dude can play outside and inside. I love it. He's my favorite pick of the draft.
All right. I'll be devil's advocate here a little bit tonight, because if we can't get critical about the draft, what can we, right? So what I talked about the matchup thing on defense, and now we got the big guy. We don't have that on offense. We have a Keon Coleman that isn't that. To be honest, to me, like it's not there. It would have been Josh.
He's not playing.
Josh finds greatness in you. If you got it, Josh will find it in you. It's not hard to be a receiver for Josh Allen. That's not true, but you know what I mean. Josh Allen makes people look better. And if you have greatness, he'll find it in you. And it doesn't necessarily have to be a big guy. That's why I'm excited for DJ Moore this year, because I think he's going to have a nice resurgence. But this guy, it was on the smaller side. You're watching the highlights, and it's shaking. And there's 4 kids in the stands, and and he's running by. He's running by like he tore up UB. He tore up the UB Bulls, Rob. That's that highlight reel. He's just running around Bulls DBs all day. There's 14 people up in the stadium, and but
he tore up Syracuse too.
I'm always gonna be an optimist for this team, and always gonna be an optimist when it comes to the offensive side of the ball. I agree. Weapons. They'll never hurt. Mm-hmm. But Rob, the highlights immediately. He's outside. He's not really inside in any of the highlights. Yeah. He's in the slot, but he's catching deep drags in the slot, or he's catching fade balls with 3 guys on him in the corner of the end zone, like looking nice. So I think he's got some swagger too. We go back to the swagger with the IGB. I think this guy's swagged out too. He's doing before games. He's getting hype, and I mean, what better to hype you up than Bills Mafia? So it's positive, real positive output of it. Like, not a lot of people are like he's a dud. Just if I want to play devil's advocate, it wasn't the big guy I might have envisioned, and there's 4 people in the stands when he's killing them.
Tom, please stick up for Skyler Bell. It's not his fault that he was balling out at UConn and nobody cares. It's a basketball school. Come on, man. Tom, help me out, man. I like Skyler Bell.
Rob, DT, let's go ahead and dub it what it is. He is the pick that saved the 2026 draft of the Buffalo Bills. And he hasn't even played it down yet. Everybody, I believe every Bills fan I talked to said, we got Skyler Bell. He's ready to play. My favorite thing about Skyler Bell is his measurables, his height, his weight, his speed. Reminds me of a former Buffalo Bill receiver who's still my second favorite Buffalo Bills receiver. Gentleman by the name of Stephon Diggs. And I love it. I've seen his highlights. He is. I don't want him to be a screen merchant. He will not be that in this offense. I really hope we're going to evolve this. I think he can play at all 3 levels of the field. He can play short, he can play medium, and he can be a deep threat as well. I truly believe that. I think Brady brought him in, and we're going to go downfield with him more. I think the kid is going to be very versatile. I like everything about him, Rob. I really do.
I love it.
And if we're going to play that game, UConn, he played at UConn. Diggs played at Maryland. Well, I mean,
Diggs was a 5th rounder. Yeah,
Diggs was a 5th rounder. So I'm excited. He's the pick to save the draft for us. So
I'm with it. I'm with it.
Listen to DT now. You want to come over?
No,
Listen,
I'm
listen,
saying like I'm just
you.
not glazing him like you, Rob. I'm not glazing him. I mean, he's going to come
I
earn
hear
it.
that now.
You know,
My kids use that. I don't know what that means.
I feel like, hey, come earn it. Let's roll the ball out. Josh is going to make you great if you're great, and then we'll rock from there.
Listen, let me comment, Rob. Can I comment on something else too?
Please.
We tried.
You're our guest.
Tried to. Okay, I believe that we did try to trade up to get Casey Concepcion. I do believe that.
Okay.
I do not believe that these Jets fans that the Jets jumped us to get Omar. I do not believe it.
You think that's bullshit?
I think
okay.
I think it's absolute BS. I think if we wanted Omar Cooper, I think Bean would have gotten him. I think Bean knew what he wanted to do. I have no doubts that the Bills could have taken Omar Cooper if they wanted him. And until Brandon Bean comes out and says it publicly, I wanted Omar Cooper. I can't believe the Jets took him before me. I didn't think that was going to happen. I don't believe a word of that farce.
Yeah, and we talked about it last week, Tom. I know you weren't here, but if you listened in, I mean, he had a plan, and that's why DT and I were very comfortable going in, because we do these on Fridays, so it was right before round 2 started. We were comfortable with it because we wanted more picks. We understood that Bean was not going to take a pick at 26 and then sit to 91. Like, you know how many picks that is in between? There's no way that he was going to feel comfortable. So I was okay with the execution of how he traded back 3 times.
He had to play chess.
Picks. He did.
Had to play chess, Rob.
He did. And it was important for him to grab those picks because he obviously thought that he had holes that he had to fill in respect to the depth. So I was cool with it. And I know you
That's why why I agree the Jets stuff is BS, because he wouldn't have let that. Yeah. He wouldn't have let that happen. Yeah. Yeah. So, it was a quality move. He got the bag, for it. He definitely dealt.
Yeah, no, he did. And Houston overpaid for sure to go up to get a guard. So, like, we took advantage of them. So it was all good there. And like I said, he's my favorite pick of the draft. Tom's funny, but he did save the draft for me for sure. But, hey, I just think that I don't have to necessarily put the Stephon Diggs weight on him, but his tape does look similar in respects to how he attacks the ball, and he's ferocious after the catch. I like the fact that he continues to play. It's not like he's just catching the ball and falling down. So I'm going to be interested to see him. Yeah, man, I'm interested to see him. And like DT said, 17 will fight. If you could play 17, Cole Beasley and John Brown, all those guys had career years when they were with 17. So I'm going to trust in that for sure. And
he's going to elevate everybody's game. That's just that's the way Josh rolls, man.
Yeah, man. I like it. Now, we were back to back in round 4, 125 with Skylar Bell, and then 126 was Caleb Elam's Orr. Listen, linebacker out of TCU, they say that this boy is fast, DT. That he's like a little heat-seeking missile. Kind of reminds me of what I heard on the post-draft scouting reports about Dorian Williams, to be honest. Because sometimes Dorian was a missile, but he'd be out of place. And they say the same thing about Elam's Orr, that, he's sometimes out of place, but he does everything 100%. And I like that, because what you can do as a coach, and about this, is that I can coach out scheme stuff. I can't coach your effort. I can't coach your speed and some of the attributes that you have. If you're in the wrong gap, I could coach you on that, but going 100 miles an hour, I can't coach you on that. I can't bring that fire to you. I like the fact that the kid's got fire. He's a little light in the ass, so maybe put on some pounds. Go to Buffalo, eat some wings, eat some beef on wax, put on some pounds to help you out. But I like the kid. He's fast, man. 4.47 speed is fast for a linebacker, and he was all Big 12 last year. So the kid makes tackles. He's not always in the right spot, but he plays 100 miles an hour. I do like that.
Hey, I'll put a hell of a nutrition plan together to bulk you up. We'll get you swole, baby. You want to walk into training camp a little swole? You just hang out with DT for a few weeks, baby. Yeah.
Come to the bachelor pad. I love it.
I know all the spots now. So
you know all
Rob,
the spots,
I say last year a linebacker unacceptable. Last year, linebacker top to bottom, I'd say unacceptable. Wasn't good. Yeah. Wasn't great. Wasn't okay. Could have been better. I thought it was unacceptable. Our best players couldn't get on the field. Our best linebacker was 50-year-old Shaq Thompson. It was bad. No offense to the 50-year-old.
Bernard got hurt too, and that didn't help.
But availability and being on the field, and Dorian Williams had a good first year, and then he comes back and he's kind of silent last year, and so we need some competition. We need some depth there. We need somebody to come in, and this is a fight for a starting spot. Matt Milano Blah not going to be back, obviously. We need somebody to fight for a starting spot, and if it comes here and he kind of fits the mold of those guys. Dorian Williams, he's a little lighter, like Terrell Bernard. We're a little
Right.
skinny in the linebacker frame, but
Right.
you know, somebody's got to start there. So I like it. He's not just gonna. This isn't as much of a depth piece, I think, as IGB. I think this is a compete for a starting spot.
You see it the same way, Tom? You think that this guy could come in and maybe push Dorian or push not probably Bernard, but push Dorian Williams for time?
See, this is how with Caleb Elam Moore's. Let me get his name out.
Elam Zor, yeah.
I also really like the pick. I really do.
Okay.
I do think he's going to absolutely compete for a starting job. I really do, right off the bat, because I'm telling you what, this kid. The only thing that worries me about him is he's a little raw. He's going to need coached up. He's going to need a very good linebackers coach to play in the NFL. That's just how I feel about him. Back to what DT said, our linebacking core last year was a mess. It was a mess. I tell you what, for Shaq Thompson to come out to be the best linebacker, that's tell. And I like Shaq. I'm glad.
No, I know, but that's his best football was behind him.
Yeah, that's the bar right there. The thing about Caleb Arms Orr is that both his parents were collegiate track athletes.
Oh wow!
So you know he comes from.
So that explains that 4.4 speed. Okay.
Absolutely, he's so fast. He comes from good stock. I really do like the pick. I just think another thing with our linebacking crew, Rob DT, is that I don't think we're done. I think we're going to add somebody. I think we're going to add another free agent.
Okay.
I highly doubt it's going to be Milano because the numbers don't work out. We're already paying him not to play for us.
Yeah.
So I don't see him. Shaq, okay, I'd bring Shaq back. But we really got to get that linebacker room together. And I hope this kid, like you said, Rob, competes for the starting job. Dorian Williams scares me when he drops into coverage. That's all I can tell you about Dorian. I would really like Dorian, but when he drops into coverage, it looks like I'm like that Ben Affleck meme where he's smoking a cigarette.
Smoking the cigarette.
Here we go.
I love it. Yeah, no, he can conjure up some definitely some anxiety for sure.
It's just like he's.
And they say that this kid can track. And that he can run with tight ends. They say he can run with backs out of the backfield. So I mean, clearly he's fast. So like I said, I think that's the biggest thing that you said. That's gonna hit is that he just needs coaching. Because like I said, you can't coach speed, but if you're in the wrong gap, stuff like that, hopefully you can work with that through film sessions, stuff like that, and kind of drive it into this guy where to be. But then there's another thing though, DT, is that again back to Jim Leonhard. I think it's going to be a lot less complicated. Okay. And I'm not here to shit on McDermott. You know what I mean? Like it's over. He's not the coach anymore. So I'm not going to do a parade tour or anything like that. But one of the things that was always a sticking point with him was that his defense were complicated and that there was a lot of checks and you're looking around. How many times did we see the guys, linebackers looking and they're communicating stuff like that? This Jim Leonhard seems like see ball, go get ball. See ball, go get ball. Simplifying, everybody's job. Everybody's job is their job. And everybody's got one or two things that they're supposed to do from the ends, from the linebackers, from the guys in the middle. See ball, go get ball. There's only a couple jobs. And I think that could help, especially with a young kid like Caleb, is that you don't have to think about a lot of processing. There's not a lot of checks, not a lot of things that you got to check with. Make sure that you're just in your gap, doing your right job, and go get that damn ball. And I think that could help with a young defense, DT.
Yeah, attack. That's the word. That's the word they keep using. And, you fly to it. Maybe that's why Dorian Williams wasn't excelling,
Maybe,
because it was too complicated and he was too fast to get to get back to his check to back. He was kind of just like glitched out. But yeah. Sorry, go ahead, Tom.
I just think we have Joe Andreessen, we have Keontae Jenkins, and we have Jimmy Charlo. That's the rest of our depth right there, guys.
Yeah,
and a lot of those three guys are special team ball players, in my opinion.
They are.
I don't know if do you guys ever
getting cut on Hard Knocks, people?
Yeah, exactly. Like, do you guys ever? Do you see them playing? Like,
no, I would be upset if Buffalo Joe had to play.
Exactly.
Like for real.
This Caleb pick, this pick had to go down. It had to happen. Yeah. Now, what really upsets me is when back to the first pick is that we passed on Jacob Rodriguez, and he goes to the Dolphins.
Yeah,
he goes there and has a Hall of Fame career. I'll just throw up in my.
Don't worry about Miami for right now. They got a whole year that they're taking off because they want a quarterback. So we don't have to. At least we don't have to think about them in 2026. So don't let that make you fret too much. Round 5, pick 167. Another pick. This is probably my second favorite pick, fellas. Jalen Kilgore, man, is a Swiss Army knife in the defensive backfield. And again, it's just on brand for what they keep talking about and telling us that Jim Leonhard wants. They say that Jim Leonhard wants guys that are positionless. He wants guys that can fit, and that I think one of the quotes that said he doesn't want guys that fit in the box. This is the definition of a guy that does not fit in the box. Jalen Kilgore, DT. I know him a little bit because of the fact being down here in South Carolina, close to South Carolina football in Charlotte. So I see a lot of the Gamecocks tape and stuff like that. And I mean, even when you were here, you saw we went into that random bar and it was all Gamecocks fans. Listen, this kid can play, man. This kid has got he's got potential. Now, whether that be at the nickel, whether that be for a safety down the road, whether, because Geno Stone's on a 1-year deal, CJ Gardner Johnson's on a 1-year deal. So I don't know the long-term position for this guy, but I just see a Swiss Army knife, somebody that can come in and play wherever Leonhard wants him to, DT. And I'm excited about him because he plays with fire. He plays with energy. He can hit you. And it just seems like it's a situation where, I mean, if this guy wants positionless players, he kind of fits that box.
Second to Josh Allen being drafted, Micah Hyde, Jordan Poyer, I would say are the best roster moves. Okay. Sure. Other than Josh Allen being drafted, those two are the best roster moves. Yes.
I agree.
Second to that. So going into the safety with those guys you just mentioned on 1-year deals to bring that depth in with Cole Bishop, who is still young in his career, and try to build that safety tandem back up. And this is the way to do it. This late in the draft, I don't know, but I will tell you, this is kind of corny, but in NCAA football 26 last year, Dump Truck was a middle linebacker for the South Carolina Gamecocks.
Nice.
And Jalen Kilgore was a dog. This dude had like 2 picks a game, was like always in the mix. I'm in like the, because it's like first person, you're up on, I'm sitting right up to the 75-incher in the bench pad, and I'm like first person making tackles, and Jalen Kilgore's everywhere. So that's dumb. We might catch some flack from that in the chat for being corny, but hey, Jalen Kilgore, dog in NCAA football. And I think, we got to bring that safety tandem back, and this is the way to do that. So I like it. Let's go, Kilgore.
What do you think, Tom? Besides any college football parallels that you can draw,
I want to go back to the draft. I want to draft Dump Truck as a linebacker by the Buffalo Bills out of the University. I love it.
Let's go, baby. I'll run out of that tunnel, run out of that high mark week 1.
Jalen Kilgore, is somebody that I mock drafted to the Bills pretty much every time I did a mock draft. I was listening to one.
You had your eye on him.
And Steve Tasker and Chris Brown has said this is the general consensus that everybody in the Bills Mafia was unbelievably happy about this pick.
Yeah,
I was happy about it. The kid is going to plug and play. He could be a day 1 starter. I have no doubts if there's a shot he can get on the field, they're going to give it to him, and this kid is going to be good. I really feel it. He.
And even in sub packages, he doesn't have to start, but he can play.
Yeah, I mean, he kind of reminds me of how he plays a little bit like Rondé Barber, but they play different positions, so it's kind of hard. But he is going to be. It's going to be a dog, man.
Yeah, I like it.
DAWG.
And that's the one thing, is that it doesn't have to necessarily be biggest impact in 26, because obviously they play football past this year. And I think that this is a guy that maybe things don't work out with Geno Stone or something like that, and you're not resigning him. Maybe you're keeping CJ, or maybe he's gone. Whatever the case may be, if Cole Bishop can continue his ascent and continue to stay on that trajectory where he played very well last year and he's on the uprise, then this guy might be a guy that can just plug and play, and he could be his safety tandem for years to come. So I'm excited about it. Round 5, 181, Zane Durant. Bean finally gets a defensive tackle. He's 6'1", 290. He's not the biggest, hugest. He's not Ted Washington, whatever the case may be. But this guy at Penn State played well, was productive there. And it's a situation where he can line up. He could be a 3-tech. He can line up and be that guy. The one thing that I kept saying was, don't make Deion Walker play nose tackle, because then you are taking away everything that makes Deion Walker special, because I call him the polar bear, because he's got those nimble feet. He's a mountain of a man, but he's not Ted Washington. We talked about that, DT, last week. Zane Durant comes in for depth to round out this draft towards the back end, and I don't have any problems with it. Again, we've already talked about Caden McDonald, so we're not going to rehash that. But you bring in a depth piece, defensive tackle with high pedigree coming from Penn State. So I've got no problem with the DT.
I've been watching Penn State D linemen since DaQuan Jones 13 years ago, Rob. Seriously, on real note, they're nice, and they're big. And I went to a Penn State game this year, and I watched Zane Durant. In my mock drafts, I was mock drafting Zane Durant earlier than this. I was mock drafting him way earlier than this. So
way earlier
this was 181.
Yeah, 5th round. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 181. I was in like probably 140s with him in my mocks. So, definitely a name. Like I'm kind of biased towards Penn State, and he's solid in there. He's solid in there in all directions. Big in the Big Ten again, playing up against the biggest boys each week. I like this pick a lot. It was a name that I didn't even expect. I was just like, oh, it's a Penn State like weird thing that I like Penn State, and this is defensive lineman. And then we drafted him. I was like, finally, we got a name that I like. Relate to. So,
that you're familiar with. Yeah.
So I'm cool. It was cool. I like that.
Tom, before we wrap up the draft, what do you think of Zane? I thought that it was perfect right in the back end of the draft. Address it and get kind of Bills Mafia off your back if you're being, I got my damn defensive tackle y'all wanted.
This is the one I didn't understand.
Okay.
I didn't get it.
How so?
I felt that we already had. I thought our defensive front room was already crowded. We got Dwayne Carter coming back, Landon Jackson coming back, Michael Hoyt. We got guys that we're going to kick inside. I think Zane Durant's a little undersized. I saw some of his highlight tape.
He is,
and I didn't like. I just don't get it. I want him to be my prove me wrong pick. Like I want him to show me why we took him.
Okay.
I don't see it.
It's round 5 too, so it's also round 5. But I get it.
I don't want him to fail. I just didn't understand the pick. I thought there was other defensive linemen that fit our scheme better that we could have brought in.
Okay, that's fair. So it's round 5. When you get past round 4. Round 5, 6, 7. You're literally at the bar drinking a pint and you are throwing darts at the board. You're trying to hit that bullseye. So, you see what you can do. And that's really what Bean was trying to do, was accumulate picks. I did not expect the DT and I talked about it when we had 9 picks last week. We were like, no way 9 players make the team. And then he actually comes out with 10 picks. So interesting how that works. As we wrap up the draft tonight, fellas, before we get to the tailgate report, because I know that Sabres hockey is on all of Bills Mafia's mind. One Buffalo, DT. We talked about that last week. One Buffalo. Round 7, 220. Toriano Pride Jr., cornerback out of Missouri. Round 7 as well, 239. Tommy Doman, who, if you draft a punter, then that means that, listen, Mitch Wisnowski, whatever, you might want to not get an apartment, get a short lease, because if they drafted a damn punter, your days may be numbered.
Booming onion.
And round out the draft. 241, round 7. Armaj Reed Abrams, a guard out of Texas A&M. DT, as I kind of just alluded to, I kind of spoiled and buried the lead. Nothing crazy out of here. Round 7, you're throwing darts, but Tommy Doman, if you draft a punter or a kicker, that means that he's probably going to make the team, because you just don't waste draft picks on that positions. You just don't.
SEC. It forced me to watch highlights of a punter,
which you probably never done.
So he better just make the team, dude. Yeah,
whatever. He's gonna make the team.
Tommy Doman's dad played middle linebacker for Navy.
Okay,
and he comes from Kentucky.
I like that.
And he was also participated in a lot of kicking camps that were in Buffalo. So I heard
that he kicks too, though, right? I heard that he can punt and kick, right? Right. Yes. So maybe he can even do the kickoff duties, or like with the new kickoff rules. If Bass is still slow to get back, so
bring back Prater. Yeah.
No. They already paid Bass. Bass has got to be the kicker, I guess, now, as long as he's healthy. Listen, I really enjoyed it tonight. Before we wrap up, listen, the Nickel City Crew Tailgate Report is presented by Queen City Vintage. Check out our buddy Nick Kai. Listen, they are running a great storefront. It's on Elmwood, right across from 40 Thieves. Check them out. Queen City Vintage. They've got all your Buffalo Bills, all your Buffalo Sabres now, your throwback vintage gear. Check them out. They will hook you up. I know DT said last week that they're running out of Sabres gear. They'll restock. They're going to find a way to get some more black and reds for y'all. Yeah. And I know that you guys are gobbling up, so please check them out. DT, before we close up tonight, I know that you're a first-timer on the show, Tom. Take us through your weekend, what you're getting ready to do. You're out there in Wheeling, West Virginia. I was telling DT pre-show, I drive up past at least past it. I don't know if I'm going in Wheeling, but at least I see it. I see it on the sign when I'm coming from Charlotte to Buffalo as I come up 19 through Beckley. So I've seen Wheeling. I know where you're at. I know where you are.
Well, tomorrow's can consist of me going home because I work firemen work 24-hour shifts. I work 8 a.m. to 8 a.m.
Thank you for your
Tomorrow
service.
I'll go home. I'll hang out with my daughter, my wife for a little bit, and 11 o'clock, me and a bunch of Steeler fans that I hang out with.
Yeah, you're in Steeler country.
Yeah, we're going to a restaurant called DJ's Ribs in Weirton, West Virginia, and their
Ooh.
ribs are phenomenal. We're
Really?
going to go and enjoy and talk a little bit about the draft and just just have fun,
Hang
with
out with the
friends,
fellas.
come home, and then
Yeah.
I'll spend some night with my family. And I got to come back to the firehouse on Sunday, guys.
Sounds good, man. Ribs weekend. There's nothing wrong that you said there, DT. I know that the city is a little bit anxious, and I know that you and I talked about a pre-show a little bit. And you are you're better than me. It's not. I think it's the anxiety of being up 3-1, and then not closing the deal. What a epic opportunity it was on Game 5 to just close it out at KeyBank in front of the fans. And then I watched the next night, Philly closes out, and the dude fucking chucks his stick in the crowd after he scores the game-winning goal, clicks the stairs. I'm just like, I couldn't do anything but be jealous. So I was just jealous of just the whole atmosphere for the Sabres fans. DT, you are way more even keel. You are way calmer than I am. Talk to me about tonight. What are your plans? Because I literally got a text message right now during the show, and my middle king Nate was supposed to be with me tonight. Can I sleep over? He's at his hockey buddy's house, and one of his best friends, Jacobs. He's like, can I sleep over, Jacobs? I promised you we're going to watch the game. I'm like, son, enjoy it. It's fine. I would rather be by myself anyway because I'm a little bit nervous. DT,
Head up to Al's, Rob.
I don't want to be around anybody right now. I'm gonna chill.
Okay.
Man. What you got?
All
What
right.
you got, man? You're in a way better space than I'm in.
Well, I'll tell you, the anxiety I get in a Bills season and what I go through in the playoffs, I can't do more than once a year for health. So I can't get that crazed over it. I love the Sabres. I hope they win tonight, but hey, if we don't win tonight, we still got another chance at it. And probability says we win before they win in the next two games because of probability. So I'm rolling with probability. I'm chilling. We're going to win it tonight anyway. We're sweeping them in Boston. We're getting all three in Boston. The boys are ready. Tage Thompson's going to light the lamp. He hasn't since game one. He's ready to go. I was out and about in the scene Tuesday. Good atmosphere. The Sabres fans are ready to rock. Queen City Vintage does have new stuff. They made their own sweatshirts. They're real cool. They say Buffalo Hockey QCV in the NHL logo. Nice. Check out their website. Real nice. And I think they finished it tonight. It's Friday night. The 152nd running of the Kentucky Derby is this weekend. And tonight is the Kentucky Oaks, which is the female version of the Kentucky Derby, and there's some decent horses in. So have a little fun, get a few bucks out there and see what you can do. The Derby's always a great one. 24 horses. And we'll see what happens. So that's the weekend. We got a nice little block party up here in North Buffalo. Yep, nice little block party in North Buffalo. Everyone mint juleps. Everyone's gonna be dressed up. We're gonna be looking good. Got our Nickel City faithful Kai and Paige coming up, and we're gonna have a good time. So
tell them I said what's up. Are you gonna wear some pastels?
Sure.
Are you gonna dress the occasion?
Okay. Heavy. I got the hat, the pastels, Rob. And it's fashions in DT, and we'll see. Hopefully, a horse does what they're supposed to do.
About horses, get out of here.
No, but I like mint juleps and I like wearing pastels and pretending I'm fancy, and that's what we're gonna be doing. So let's go, Sabres. Sabres in 6. Easy dub tonight. We're chilling going into tomorrow. Get on your horses. I'll give a pick. I'll give my horse to the Nickel City crew. Nickel City crew. Here we go. We're going with the 12.
Go ahead.
12 Chief Wallaby. 12 Chief Wallaby. You hear here first. If he wins, I deserve all the accolades. If he loses, that's on you.
None of the blame. I love it. That's exactly.
I'll put 5 on him.
That's exactly how the game was supposed to go. I love it. Listen, man.
He's currently 10-1.
10-1. Oh, well,
okay.
Then maybe I will. Maybe DT does know what he's talking. Maybe I'll do it on behalf of the show, and I'll post something about that. Listen, I really appreciate your time joining us tonight, all the way from Wheeling, West Virginia, man. Really, listen, I enjoy the Twitter Spaces so much just because it lets me get my takes out and stuff like that, and they love to box me and beat me up and stuff like that. But I really have appreciated. I
don't know why
it's all good, man.
Love your takes. I think it's always on point. I don't know why.
It's all good, man.
DT, if you didn't know, guys, Rob will tell you, I host a space on the X. It's called Mafia and Bill's Mafia. If you want to stop in and talk, hey guys, you're all
Everybody's
welcome.
welcome.
And everybody's welcome. I love to hear different takes, even if I don't agree with you. I still listen.
Yeah, and that's really what drew me to you, Tom, is that a lot of people come on there and then they like to whatever they think they want everybody else to think, and I don't want everybody to think the same, and it's okay if we have banter and we go back and forth and we disagree. So I really appreciate it. You have been a great host on those spaces, so I will continue to partake because I like to argue. I don't mind arguing. I argue for a living, like it's all good. So I enjoy it, man. And like I said, you're always a gracious host. So we really appreciate you tonight. Check him out on Twitter. Again, he does host a lot of those Bills Mafia spaces. He is at Bills Fan for Life WV. That stands for West Virginia. Coming at us from from Deal Tally Country. We really appreciate you, Tom, enjoying this tonight, man. So I will holler at you, brother, for sure. DT.
Thanks, Tom.
I mean, out there, man, listen, okay, fine. I understood what you're saying, that the mental capacity, the heart can't take it with Sabres, with Sabres equaling the Bills. I get that. But listen, you're up 3-1. You're supposed to win the fucking series. So Sabres, can you just win it and close it out tonight? Because I don't want to wait till Sunday. Then it's game 7. Then it's, oh man, you were up 3-1 and all of a sudden, then the pressure is literally back on you. So no, just give me no pressure. Let's end this tonight.
I like that. No, we don't want
end this tonight. Please.
We don't want game 7. We don't want game 7. It's over tonight. I'm confident it's over tonight. That's why I'm not worried. I'm confident it's over tonight. That's why I'm not worried. Let's go. Birds and 6. Enjoy your weekend.
I love it, man. Listen, out there, spread love, not hate. These were my Bills thoughts said out loud. Enjoy the weekend. Enjoy Sabres game tonight coming up in just under a half hour. Enjoy it as well. I think it's 7:30 on ESPN. And then, as DT said, you got the Kentucky Derby tomorrow, so you can have some fun and be safe out there. Drink some mint juleps, dress in some pastels, and enjoy yourselves with your friends and waste money on horses that you have no idea anything about, because none of us know anything about horses at all. So I love DT gave us a pick. I'm definitely gonna put $5 on. What's the name of the horse?
Well, Chief Wallaby.
Chief Wallaby. All right, we'll roll with Chief Wallaby tomorrow. I'm gonna roll with DT. Listen, have a fun weekend for sure. Go Sabres, go Bills for sure. Hit them with a go Bills. Hit them with a go Sabres. DT. It's time to wrap up, man.
Go Bills. Go Sabres. Sabres in 6. Full year.